Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. Now, we were in the Bahamas for a week. We had a blast, but more importantly, we saw a Kentucky basketball team that I think is a national title contender. They played excellent, blew out every team they went against, including 2 professional teams. Drew, of the guys you saw, what was your biggest takeaway?
Tyler Hero really surprised me. I knew he had an offensive game. I knew he could shoot, but I didn't know he was that caliber of an offensive player right away. Led the team in scoring with 17 points. I did not see any of that coming from him.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing your first 4 games and you get compared to Rex Chapman, that's a pretty good indication. I always thought he was a good shooter, but I don't think I realized how good a shooter. And maybe most impressively to me was his mid-range game, hitting shots from around the free throw line. You don't see kids do that anymore, and often it's a bad shot, but it's not a bad shot if you make it as much as he does.
I know, and especially guys so young, the way he would just take it off the balance and elevate, he can get that off on just about anyone. It seemed to always go in. I was just so shocked by how smooth he was.
Then there was, for me, Keldon Johnson. I mean, I thought Keldon Johnson looked like an absolute star. I mean, I think he's going to be one of the 5 best players in college basketball. He could get to the basket. He tries to dunk on every human being. Maybe sometimes he tries to dunk more than he should, but I love that kid. I think he ends up being Kentucky's best player.
I do too. He can do it all. He's a great defensive player. I went and watched him in Virginia in high school and came back, and my takeaway was he does try to dunk on everyone. He almost reminds me of Russell Westbrook and just how aggressive he is and the way he throws it down at the rim. It's almost like he's playing angry.
And he looks a little like Russell Westbrook. Not a lot, but a little bit. For me, you then go to P.J. Washington. I mean, this dude, his body looks so different than last year. He's gotten thinner. He's gotten more athletic. He, too, was aggressive. And I got the sense that he's gone from a player who last year was maybe the 4th or 5th guy to being the emotional leader of the team. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and physically, you could see how nonstop basketball from April and May, when he was still considering the draft, how that paid off. He's slimmed down, looks a lot more athletic. The way he was dunking on people, I'm not sure he could have done that last year. And you're right, he did seem the guy that's going to lead this team.
Now, I know you're excited. He won't talk a lot about this, but sophomore Nick Richards, who he's been talking about forever, I would argue he's been joking about.
Nope.
But whether you were joking or not, he came out balling. He was excellent. Only missed 3 shots the whole trip.
I was not joking, but I'm glad he came through because I've been driving that point home since May. It's just he's so big and so athletic. He has to be good at basketball. I think last year was a confidence issue. He's matured a lot from year 1 to year 2. Hopefully he keeps it up because he is insanely good when he's playing the way he did.
The shot blocking was the thing for me because if he can protect the rim like he does, Kentucky really doesn't have another guy to do that. So I thought he was excellent. And he's going to be pushed a lot by Reed Travis, who he struggled to hit layups, but he is a rebounding machine.
Yeah, I think nerves got the best of Reed Travis in the first game. I think there were more people in the Bahamas than were at any of his games at Stanford. But his hands are magnets when that ball comes off the glass. He's pushing guys out of the way and getting it. We just got to get him to put it in the cylinder consistently.
Yeah, the amount of missed layups he had will drive a lot of people crazy. Can I tell you another thing that was impressive to me? The crowd. I mean, I thought the crowd, UK fans seem more amped about this team than they have been in recent years. And part of it, I think, Drew, was how fun they are to watch. They play a fast-paced style. They score a lot. I think people will really like that.
Yeah, I think this could end up being one of the most fun teams we have. You can have a good team that's still boring to watch. This one has the fans into it the whole time, and I think maybe this $6 alcohol at the games might have
$6
helped to the atmosphere
probably,
a little bit.
It probably
but
played
no, they
a
were
little
loving
bit
it
of it
down there.
You know, Calipari didn't coach the games there, but he said when it was over that he thought this team has high caliber but isn't nearly as good as they can be. I'm sure that's true, but I have to tell you, I had high expectations. They far exceeded them. I mean, I think, I hate to get excited, but I think this team is going to be silly good at times. I think they'll lose games because they might go cold, but I think they're going to beat some teams by big amounts.
Let me correct you. Coach Cal coached from up in the stands of that game. He tried to act like he didn't. He was sending plays in, but you're right. They'll have some off nights because they're a lot of offense-based and how they're gonna win games, but it's going to be so fun. And I'm trying to hold back my excitement, but dang, they look good to be August.
See, I'm trying to hold back my excitement too, but I don't know if I can. I mean, when I saw the way this team played and I saw how fun the games were and how much the fans were into it, I think Cal's 3 most exciting teams were the Wall team, the Anthony Davis title team, and the 38-1 team. Do you think this one's going to go right along those as his best teams?
I do. We're just a year removed, not even a whole year, from last year's team struggling in their first couple home games. That's with 2 extra months of basketball on top of where this team is now. To be so good so early, I think it's going to be a special season.
I just want to say I feel sorry for my alma mater. Transylvania is going to play in the first game. Trency, if you stay within 50, I'll be very proud of you. We Pioneers have to stick together. but I'm worried. I think it's going to be ugly.